Welcome to Math Cafe. Enjoy math sip by sip. Welcome to the second part of the chapter, limits and derivatives. Hope you have already watched the first part of the video. If you haven't, please watch to get a clear understanding about the limits. In this video, we are going to see how to evaluate limits. Before going to the problems, just to see some fundamental properties. First property is limit x tends to a, k will be equal to. What could be the value? It's very clear, trivial, and you know that whenever x changes, what will happen to f of x? That's what we have learned as a limit. Limit x tends to a, f of x. As this k is independent of x, the value of k remain same. And for example, to understand, if you have limit x tends to 1, 2x will be, you know that x is becoming 1, this will be 1. As this term is independent of x, the value remains the same. Then second property, as I have written there, the same thing. If limit x tends to a, some constant into a function, this will become k into limit x tends to a f of x. Simply this says x is approaching to a. If you have any non-x terms are there, you are always free to push that term outside and evaluate the limit. Now the third property is limit of a sum. If you have limit x tends to a, f of x plus g of x. If you have limit of sum of two terms, this could be written as limit x tends to a f of x plus limit x tends to a g of x. You could evaluate them separate. Same way, if you have limit x tends to a f of x minus g of x is there, you can apply this limit x tends to f of x minus. You can separately evaluate them. The same will be applicable for product. If you have f of x into g of x, limit x tends to a, you could done limit x tends to a f of x into limit x tends to a g of x, and same will be applicable for a quotient f of x by g of x. Also we can go limit of the numerator by limit of the denominator, provided limit x tends to a g of x should be not equal to 0. Throughout the limits, our main thing is that the denominator must be not equal to 0. Wherever the denominator approaches to 0, that case we cannot evaluate, as you know that 1 by 0, we don't know that value. Anytime when the denominator becomes 0, you need to take extra care. Let us consider some simple examples. Example 1 is limit x tends to 1, x cube minus x square plus 1. And as you see in here, there is no denominator, and this value will be always going to be a finite. So straightforward, you can apply the value. This is 1 cube minus 1 square plus 1. And here again, this function takes the value as x approaches to 1. So this is 1 minus 1 plus 1. The value is 1. Don't consider this as I'm just plugging the value of x. This is evaluation of the limit only. Now maybe second one, I consider this as limit x tends to 2, x into x minus 1. This will become what? 2 into 2 minus 1. This answer is going to be 2. Again, you are free to evaluate the limit whenever value of the function when x approaches the given limit is a finite value, or wherever the denominator becomes 0, such a case you can't evaluate directly. Maybe I will consider another example as limit x tends to 22 by 7, x minus pi. What is this value? X tends to 22 by 7, x minus pi. Can I write this as 0? No. 22 by 7 minus pi only. You must know that pi is not equal to 22 by 7. Pi is approximately, we take it as 22 by 7. So don't conclude this as equal to 0. These type questions will come to trick you. So be careful. Pi is ratio and it's a rational number. It can never be 22 by 7. We assume that pi is equal to 22 by 7 only. Now consider another one. Limit x tends to 2, x square minus 4 by x plus 2. Can I evaluate again? Yes, of course. This is not going to be 0. So straight away can denominator is what? 2 plus 2, 4. We always confirm denominator is not going to be 0. Numerator is what? 4 minus 4. So 0 by 4 doesn't matter. This is 0. You got the answer. Now consider one more example. Limit x tends to 1, x square plus 1 by x plus 100. And again when you approaches to 1, this is 1 square plus 1 by 1 plus 100. So 2 by 101. Now, so far we have seen all the questions where the denominator is not going to be 0. Now we are going for another example, maybe a simple one like this. Limit x tends to 1, x square minus 1 by x minus 1. Can I evaluate this directly as the previous one? Of course not. You are all right. Perfectly correct. Because when x approaches to 1 here, this becomes a 1 minus 1 is 0 and you cannot evaluate that. Now comes the question, what we'll do? Now, whenever the denominator is becoming 0, it says you can't evaluate them directly. That's the first thing to understand. And the second thing is that says clearly that term could be removed by some method. There are different methods are there. First method we are going to see is that by factorization. The first type of questions with the method of factorization. Let us see the question again. Limit x tends to 1. This is x square minus 1 by x minus 1. What we are using? Method of factorization. We have different methods are there. Here I am using factorization. Whenever you have a denominator, that suggests you must have the same term on the numerator. It is not explicit. Implicitly the term is there. Your duty is to just check the factorization correct. Now as x approaches to 1, this x minus 1 will be never be 0. As x approaches to 1 mean it is coming closer and closer and closer. It is never going to be 1 and it will not be a 0. So I can cancel them. Now this becomes limit x tends to 1 x plus 1. Now you can evaluate this. 1 plus 1 is 2. It is a finite quantity. That is the technique. Now if I take another one, limit x tends to 2 x square minus 4 by x minus 2. Now you know the trick. It just factorize. Again, if you closely observe, when x approaches to 2, denominator is definitely 0. So you must factorize it. Numerator is going to be what? X minus 2 into x plus 2 by x minus 2. Again, this x minus 2 you could cancel and this is going to be what? X plus 2. So 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 and you got the answer. Consider another example. Limit x tends to 2 x square minus 5x plus 6 divided by x minus 2. Clearly, this we can't evaluate directly because the denominator is going to be 0. As it is x minus 2, you must get an x minus 2 on the numerator. You split the middle term, product is equal to 6 and sum is equal to minus 5. Clearly you know that numbers must be minus 2 and minus 3, x minus 2 into x minus 2. Or the shorter way, you know that one term must be x minus 2 and you need to check that minus 2 into which number will give you plus 6. Obviously minus 3, then cross check whether you are correct or not. Cut it out. So x minus 3, so 2 minus 3 is what? Minus 1, that is the answer. This is one of the techniques and this technique will not work everywhere. Let us see. See, I need to find limit x tends to 2 x to the power 10 minus 1024 divided by x minus 2. This also can factorize, but it must take time. So I don't want to do that one. Now, how do I will do this question? Now, for this question, we need to know another formula. That is the first point you should learn from this topic. We have a rule, limit x tends to a, x raised to n minus a raised to n by x minus a. And this formula is n into a raised to n minus 1. Limit x tends to a, x raised to n minus a raised to n by x minus a equal to n into a raised to n minus 1. That is the rule. Let us see the question. What with the question we have? Limit x tends to 2 x to the power 10 minus 1024 divided by x minus 2. Now what you need to observe here, see, this value is x is approaching to a and here you have an a raised to n and denominator also a. Basically what is happening or what works here? See, this is a raised to n minus a raised to n and a minus a, 0 by 0 form will come and it become theoretically we can derive this as n a raised to n minus 1. In only such cases formulae will work. This I can simplify as limit x tends to 2 x raised to 10 minus. Obviously this must be 2 to the power of 10. If you have doubt you can verify 2 to the power of 10 by x minus 2. Now see, cross check the values. A is 2 and n is 10. So the formula is what? 10 into 2 raised to 10 minus 1. So 10 into 2 raised to 9. 512 into 10. So it will be 5120. That's that. Consider some another example. Limit x tends to minus 1 x cube plus 1 by x plus 1. Again when you directly apply, this is going to be 0. Either you can factorize or you can use the formula. As we are learning the formula, I'm just going with the formula. Now first thing what I will write, this plus 1 I will make it as minus 1 by minus 1 and here x minus minus 1. Why did I do that? Because my a is minus 1. I need a raised to n and a. A raised to n means here I need an a cube and denominator must be a. One more step I repeating for you to understand. x cube minus minus 1 to the power 3, because minus 1 to the power 3 is again what? Minus 1 itself, and this is x minus 1. Now exactly x raised to n minus a raised to n by x minus a. So this is going to be 3 into minus 1 to the power 3 minus 1. N a to the power n minus 1, minus 1 square 1, so the answer is 3. So that is what our answer. Let us consider a little different one. Limit x tends to 1, x raised to 10 minus 1 by x raised to 5 minus 1. How do we evaluate it? Very simple. Always we have one formula we learn, x raised to n minus a raised to n by x minus a. As x approaches to a, this is become n a raised to n minus 1. Bring it into that form, x to the power 10. 1 to the power 10 is 1 itself. Definitely I can write 1 to the power 10, and this is x minus 1, and whole divided by x raised to 5 minus 1 to the power 5 by x minus 1. If you observe, 1 to the power anything is 1, absolutely right, and x minus 1 wrote both terms, so it will get cancel out each other. Now if you want, you can write one more step, or you can directly evaluate. Here I am applying the property, limit of a quotient is equal to limit of the numerator by limit of the denominator, x raised to 10 minus 1 raised to 10 by x minus 1 whole divided by limit x tends to 1, x to the power 5 minus 1 to the power 5 by x minus 1. So the numerator is what? 10, 1 to the power 10 minus 1, and 5 into 1 to the power 5 minus 1. 1 to the power anything is 1. 10 by 5 is 2, so that's answer. Try more questions based on this idea, then you will be thorough with this property. So here we have learned two methods. One is evaluation by using direct factorization, and the second method we have seen by using the formulae. There are still methods are there. The next method we will see in the next session. Thank you for watching Math Cafe. Hope you enjoy the video. Please like, share and subscribe.